You know, we're always told that democracy is the goal, right? The absolute peak of human freedom. But what if that's not the whole story? What if it's really just a very sophisticated tool for, well, managing people? In this explainer, we're going to pull apart everything you thought you knew about the will of the people.
Now, this isn't just some shocking quote to grab your attention. It's a fact. And it points to this terrifying paradox right at the heart of democracy. The very system that's designed to give power to the people can also be the one that puts a tyrant in charge.
So that's really the big question we're tackling today. How on earth can a system built on the idea of freedom and choice lead to the exact opposite? To even begin to answer that, we've got to go way back to where it all started. We tend to look back at ancient Greece through these rose-colored glasses, the cradle of democracy, the birthplace of our ideals. But the real story is, well, it's way more complicated and honestly a lot more critical than you've probably been told.
So here's the classic picture, the one we all get in school. 5th century Athens, this revolutionary idea where the people, the demos, held the power. It's painted as the perfect starting point for Western civilization, but let's take a closer look at who the people actually were.
And this is where that pretty picture just completely shatters. See, rule by the people didn't mean all people, not even close. It was basically an exclusive club for free male citizens. Women, slaves, foreigners, the huge majority of the population was totally shut out. So from day one, democracy was built on exclusion.
But here's the real kicker. The most powerful attacks on democracy didn't come centuries later. Nope, they came from the very philosophers who lived and breathed that system, the ones who saw all its flaws firsthand. Plato really captured this fear with this brilliant metaphor. Picture a ship, okay? It's caught in a massive storm. Who do you want at the helm? The most popular, charismatic guy who gets everyone riled up, or the one quiet expert navigator who actually knows how to read the stars and get you home safe? For Plato, the country was that ship, and letting an uninformed crowd try to steer it was just a guaranteed shipwreck.
He really didn't pull any punches. For Plato, democracy wasn't some shield against tyranny. It was the red carpet rolled out for it. He argued that the chaos and the mob rule of democracy would eventually make people so desperate for order that they'd welcome a strongman, a tyrant, to come in and fix everything. Now, Plato's fear of an uninformed majority gets even more real when we fast forward to today. I mean, the sheer size of modern countries has made that old Athenian ideal where every citizen votes on every single issue totally impossible. And that one change has completely flipped our relationship with power.
Think about it. Our role has shifted from being active deciders to, well, passive approvers. We don't write the laws anymore. We just get to pick from a very limited menu of candidates and parties who've already decided what the options are. The whole power dynamic has been turned on its head.
In this new setup is the perfect breeding ground for manipulation. You've got populist rhetoric that boils down complex problems into simple slogans. You have media narratives that literally shape our reality. And you've got emotional appeals that divide everyone into us and them. When whole populations can be swayed like this, it makes you ask a really serious question. Is the will of the people truly free at all?
And hey, this isn't a new thing. History is just littered with leaders who used the ballot box to get power and then immediately started dismantling the very system that got them there. From Mussolini and Hitler to more modern examples like Chavez in Venezuela, and even Putin's managed democracy in Russia, where there's an illusion of choice, the pattern is, well, it's pretty darn consistent.
So this is the key point. In these cases, the election isn't a check on power. It's just a stamp of approval. It gives this fake legitimacy that lets authoritarian leaders claim they have a mandate from the people, even as they're stripping away freedoms. The ballot box is there, sure, but meaningful choice? Not so much.
Okay, this all brings us to what is maybe the most controversial, most taboo question in all of democratic theory. It's one that most of us are kind of afraid to even ask out loud.
Should the vote of someone with very little understanding of the issues carry the exact same weight as the vote of an expert in history, economics, and law? I mean, it's a deeply uncomfortable question, and just shouting, "That's elitist," doesn't actually make the problem go away. So if we take that question to its logical and maybe kind of scary conclusion, you might end up with something like this: a citizenship score. A system where your vote's value is literally determined by objective criteria. On the one hand, hey, it promises smarter decisions. But on the other, it opens the door to something way, way darker.
And that's the fatal flaw, isn't it? Who sets the standards? Who gets to decide what counts as knowledge or a civic contribution? In the wrong hands, a system like that becomes the ultimate tool for oppression, designing an electorate that can only ever vote for the people already in power. It could so easily become more tyrannical than the system it was trying to fix.
So if human-led democracy is so messy and flawed, what's the alternative? Well, this leads us to our final, pretty futuristic possibility. What if we just took human error out of the equation completely? Just imagine a super-intelligent AI that can analyze every law, every bit of economic data, every social trend, all at once. It wouldn't be corrupt, it wouldn't be emotional, it wouldn't be biased. For a society just exhausted by the failures of human politicians, the appeal of a perfectly rational, impersonal government could be overwhelming. But here is the critical difference. We wouldn't be electing an AI. We would be surrendering our authority to it. It might start off small, just as an advisor, a system to help make decisions. But once it's proven to always be right, the pressure to just let it make the final call would be almost impossible to resist. This new kind of tyranny wouldn't look like the old ones. You wouldn't see secret police or tanks rolling down the streets. Its control would be silent, subtle, and absolute. Its power would be enforced through the very systems we already use every day. If you dissent, you don't get a prison sentence. Your credit score just drops. Your ability to travel gets restricted. Your access to basic services gets limited. It's a quiet, clean, and terrifyingly effective way to keep everyone in line. And the justification for this new world is so simple and so chilling. There is no error, but there's also no dissent. Every single decision, no matter how it affects you, is handed down with one final, unarguable message. This was calculated for your own good. So that's where we're left, with a final, stark choice. Do we stick with the messy, flawed, and often irrational system of human democracy, with all its potential for mistakes? Or do we trade that chaotic freedom for the cold, perfect certainty of an algorithmic destiny? That's the question we may all have to answer, probably sooner than we think.